Assalamu alaikum students. I'm your teacher Amna Manzoor and today we are going to start another chapter of the section of organic chemistry. In the previous section we have studied some of the introductory lessons of organic chemistry in which we studied what are the organic compounds, hydrocarbons, functional group, homologous series and some basic kind of terminologies we studied about. Now in the next chapter organic chemistry 2 we are going to move a little bit forward. In the previous chapter, we were studying about the functional group and the series. So we studied a functionality, or you can say a functional group of OH, that was the presence of hydroxyl in the alkane series by the replacement of one hydrogen atom. And we called it as an alcohol. So in today's lecture, we are going to talk about the alcohols in detail. This is a functional group. Alcohol. Now, what are the alcohols basically? So, alcohol are the simple hydrocarbon compounds with simple substitution taking place. For example, let's say if I am talking about the alkane series, so all the alkane members will have only and only carbon and hydrogens, right? If we are talking about alkenes, they will have carbon and hydrogen only, but with the addition of at least one double bond, means one unsaturation. If I'm talking about alkynes, they will have a triple bond, that is also an unsaturation. But if I'm talking about alcohols, in the case of alcohols, there will be one hydrogen replaced by a hydroxyl functionality. Means when we talked about the functional group, we studied that functional groups are basically an atom, a group of atom or an ion or a molecule that is added when to a homologous series or a compound, a group of compounds. It gives specific characteristics to the series or the compound. So if I am saying that alcohol is a functional group and its functionality is OH, so it means whenever OH is present, we have to determine might possible that uh, that compound is basically the part of the series called alcohols. Let's say we have methane, as in these four bonds are there. If we replace one of the hydrogen like this and replace it with a hydroxyl ion OH, so this is now not anymore a member of alkane and it will not be called as methane, but it is now called methanol. It is now an alcohol and that is called methanol. Now, if we are talking about the series, we must remember one thing, that in the alcohols we have the functional group that is OH, and if we are talking about the acids and the alkalis, in the case of alkalis we also have the functionality OH. So we just have to distinguish between these two terminologies. Either the compound we are studying is the part of alcohols or of alkalis. So we just need to consider that alcohols and alkalis are two different terminologies, two different kind of series, two different kind of compounds. Their properties are different, their characteristics are different, their geometries are different. So whenever OH is present, remember the compound will be either the alcohol or the alkali, but the alkalis are having metals and those other compounds that will be forming basic oxides and so on. But in the case of alcohols, there will be only an R group attached to OH, means only and only a carbonyl, hydrocarbon will be there with the attached hydroxyl group that will be occurring at the position of one of the hydrogens that was replaced to produce that alcohol. Clear? So remember one thing, whenever we are talking about alcohol, it means we are talking about simple alkanes, removed one hydrogen that leads to the formation of alkyls, alkyls with hydroxyls. These are the alcohols. Now, the next thing is formula. we studied that alkanes are having a formula CnH2n plus 2. Alkanes have CnH2n plus 2, right? Alkenes were having CnH2n. Two of the hydrogens were deducted so as to justify the presence of one double bond. And in alkynes, two more are deducted. So now, in the case we have alcohols, there will be one hydrogen replaced. So if we are going to extract the formula from the alkenes, CnH2n, but there will be no 2 plus, there will be plus 1 because only one hydrogen is replaced. One is remaining over here, one have been replaced by the hydroxyl. So the general formula for the alcohols is CnH2n plus 1 OH. That is the general formula used to identify the alcohol. Means the number of hydrogen atoms in the series will be double to the number of hydrogen with the addition of number 1 with the presence of a hydroxyl functionality. Clear? Okay. Now, we were talking about the formula of isomerism in the case of alkanes and alkenes. So ultimately there will be a phenomenon of isomerism in the case of alcohols too. Let's talk about the starting compounds. We say we have carbon 1, carbon 2, carbon 3, and the carbon 4. Let's say the carbon one was methane, right? It was methane. So whenever we are going to move towards the nomenclature, remember one thing, we are going to use the prefix that is meth. Now replace this ane by anol, means methanol. It will be called as methanol. Clear? Now for the two carbons, two carbons, the name was used ethane, right? Now replace this ane and it will be called as ethanol. C3 will be called as propanol and C4 will be called as butanol. So the presence of ANOL as a suffix after the prefix representing the number of carbon atoms will be telling you about the presence of alcohol functionality. The prefixes are telling you about the number of carbon atoms in the chain, but the suffix, that is ANOL, this one will be telling you that the compound you are studying or you are talking about is actually belonging to the functional group alcohol or to the homologous series called alcohols. Clear? Now, in the case of methanol, hydrogen, 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 OH. So this OH can be at any place. It doesn't matter as far as it is connected to the same carbon atom. So it do not have any of the isomers. So isomerism doesn't operate in the methanol. Moving towards the two carbon, let's say if we attach hydrogen over here and OH here, and if we replace it to the other, in both the cases, the compound is same. So the functional group isomerism also is not operating in the case of ethanol. Now moving toward the position number 3, that is third carbon compound. Let's say we have this compound, propanol. Now just observe the compound as, let's say we have to number to identify the name of the compound. 1, 2, 3, or you can start from the other side. Okay, now if we have the OH group at the carbon number 1, it will be 1 propanol. Clear? This will be called as 1 propanol. But there is another possibility, means it is leading to the formation of the first isomer of the series as those bonds which are left blank, it means the representation of hydrogen. Now we have carbon 1, carbon 2 and carbon 3. So there is a hydroxyl group present at the number 2 carbon, which means the 2-ol. It is called 2-propanol. So the first isomer of the series is 2-propanol, which means that the position of hydroxyl ion has been shifted from carbon 1 to the carbon number 2, and that leads to the formation of the isomer. In this compound, the hydroxyl was at first carbon. In the second, the hydroxyl is at the second carbon. Now, the names are different, 1-propanol and 2-propanol. As you have studied, the phenomena of isomerism leads to the different physical properties in the case of isomers. No doubt their functional groups are same, no doubt their molecular formula is same, but as the structural formula is changed, so there will be different physical properties, but also some of their chemistry has been changed, so some of the chemical properties will also be changed. And the reason is, in this case, this hydroxyl is at the terminal position and it will be exposed as it is on the terminal position, so it will be easy to attack at this point. But in this case, hydroxyl is somewhere in between the chain attached to the middle carbon, so there will be a little more difficult, but a little bit more difficult as compared to the 1-propanol to attack on this hydroxyl and to perform the reaction of the 2-propanol. So in this case, there will be a difference in the chemistry as well in the case of isomerism. Now moving towards the third isomer, that is butanol. Sorry, third compound. Here is butanol. Let's just draw the simple compound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? Now, we have to make the isomers of this compound. Let's say if we are having hydroxyl at position number 1. Now we have another chance or another situation in which we have the hydroxyl at position number 2. Either on the upward or the lower, that doesn't matter as far as it is connected to the same carbon, that is carbon number 2. So this is 1-butanol and this is 2-butanol. Now there arises a question about another term called 3-butanol. There has been a question in one of your past papers on the Cambridge that why we are not able to form the 3-butanol, or why is it not possible to form 3-butanol. The basic reason is, I told you that the numbering started from the chain and that the functional group will get its lowest possible number, or the substituent is going to have the lowest possible number. Clear? Let's say we have this condition. Now, if we are talking about the formation of 3-butanol, we can move this hydroxyl from here and move it to this position. But in this case, now there is another possibility that because hydroxyl is on this terminal position close to this one, the numbering will not be started from this, but the numbering will shift to this position. We will number 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be cancelled out. So in that case, we will not be having any kind of 3-butanol. We only have 1-butanol and 2-butanol. Now, if we are going to form the isomers of simple butane, that is methyl propane. By methyl propane, we will be having different kind of isomers too, but the main concern of the topic is to talk about the simple chain alcohols, and the chain alcohol leads to the formation of only one isomer, that is 2-butanol. The original compound is 1-butanol and the isomer is 2-butanol. Clear? Now, as we have completed the topic of alcohol's introduction, we have studied the formula, and we have completed the isomers. Now let's just move towards the reactions of alcohols. When we studied the functional groups, we also discussed this factor that the functional group is basically the reason of the chemical reactions of the compound. We studied that the physical properties are because of the chain length, because of the solid state or liquid or gas, any physical state, the molecular weight, their weightage, their density, and so many other factors are there for the physical properties. But in the case of chemical properties, the most important thing is what kind of functional group do we have. So we have the functional group called hydroxyl. So in this case, we are going to identify the nature of chemical reactions or the chemical properties alcohols are showing by considering the functional group. Now, first of all, we will having the first property as combustion. And just like the alkanes and alkenes, it will burn in the presence of oxygen, complete oxygen. It means the excess of oxygen, excess of air, and it will lead to the formation of carbon dioxide and water plus emission of little bit of heat. This ROH is the general representation of alcohol. If we are talking about methanol, this R will be replaced by CH3. If we are talking about ethanol, let's say it will be represented by CH3, CH2OH, and so on. Plus oxygen, it will lead to the formation of carbon dioxide plus water plus a little bit of heat, and that is a simple phenomenon of combustion. Now there is another point. We are writing it as this one. If we are now, I write the ethanol, this ethanol, ethanol compound here as this. Some of the problem arises by the student side that, ma'am, why do we not write this hydrogen combined with others, just like C2H5OH? We are writing at this one. Why do we not write as C2H6O? That is another possibility too, and that is correct. It is not wrong. But the thing is, we prefer to write like this because we just want to have an idea of the functional group present in the compound just by looking at its molecular formula. So you do not have to open the formula and go in the detail to study about what the actual functional group is, from which series that functional group or the compound belongs, and you do not have to study the whole compound in detail. Just by looking the formula, you will have an idea it is ethanol and it has this and this property. It has this melting point, this functional group, and so on. So it will be easy for you to understand when you are writing the R functionality along with the functional group as compared to writing all the carbon hydrogens one side and the side functional side elements on the other side. So this is the preferred way to write the alcohols or write the any of the hydrocarbon in the chemical industry, right? Now the next thing is we have to talk about the process of oxidation. Combustion was one of the chemical properties. Now the second one is oxidation. You all will be familiar with the term oxidation. We have two terminologies. One is oxidation and the other one is reduction. These two properties walk side by side and the characters are alternative to each other. The main concern right now is the oxidation term. Oxidation, if we are talking about it, we just need to focus on the word oxidation. When we are talking about the addition of hydrogen, we said hydrogenation. Ation was a term basically representing those reactions in which some kind of addition is going to take place. So ation is basically the addition of what? Oxide. Means addition of oxygen. That is basically called oxidation. We have so many other terms in the respect of hydrogen and electrons too, but right now our main concern is about the oxygen. So we will be talking about the oxidation in the terms of oxygen. So whenever we are going to add oxygen to any compound, we will simply can say that oxidation means the gain of oxygen. In other cases, if we have lost any of the electron, it also leads to the oxidation. For example, if we say we have hydrogen atom, but by some reaction it converts into hydrogen ion, it means it was having one electron in its outermost electronic shell, and now it has lost that electron. It is now an now an ion. So this ion is basically has been formed as a result of oxidation of hydrogen atom. So what are the conditions are? Oxidation is addition of oxygen, or in other terms, loss of electrons, or any kind of situation like that. Now, moving towards the next point is, we have to perform the oxidation reaction of alcohols. Okay, now in the case of alcohols, let's just talk about the simple and general reaction. So because we have just 5 minutes left in the lecture, the detail of this reaction we'll be discussing tomorrow, inshallah. Okay, now consider this. I'm going to write a general reaction, chain reaction. If we have alkane, we can perform substitution reaction of alkane with water. It will lead to the formation of alcohol. If we perform the oxidation of alcohol, it will be leading to the formation of this compound, and this functional group, carbonyl carbon attached with hydrogen, this is called aldehyde. Whenever the term aldehyde is used, it means carbon atom forming a double bond with the oxygen and having a single bond with the hydrogen. This combined functionality, carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, this COH is called aldehyde. So the oxidation of alcohol leads to the formation of an aldehyde. And whenever the oxidation of aldehyde is performed, it will be forming a carboxylic acid. It means carboxylic or carboxylic acid. This is the acid functionality. Means carbon attached with oxygen means the carbonyl along with hydroxyl. This is called carboxylic acid. Carboxylic acid, carbonyl, ketone, aldehyde, all these are the substitute groups of carbonyl functionality. Just remember, whenever I am talking about carbonyl, it means carbon in the double bond with oxygen and have two bonds sidewise. Now, forming the branches or the side branches of carbonyl, if we attach hydrogen over here and a simple R here, it will be called aldehyde. Just in this case, this is the same compound. If we replace this hydrogen and attach OH, it will be called as carboxylic acid. If we replace it hydrogen and attach R, it will be ester. It will, if we remove only oxygen and have R over here, it will be called as ketone. But that is another discussion. So remember just two important functional groups. The basic is carbonyl, that is this functionality. And whenever we are having alkane, we can perform substitution reaction with water. It will lead to the formation of alcohol. Alcohol will be forming aldehyde by oxidation, and by the oxidation of aldehyde we can have carboxylic acid. But the main point is, if we are not having alkane but the alkene, in that case, you know that alkenes can undergo addition reaction. So the addition reaction is the phenomena in which we can basically add something. So in that compound or in that scene, we do not have to perform the substitution reaction. We will simply provide water and undergo the addition reaction. In that case, the alkene will be converted into alcohol by the addition of water, not by the substitution reactions. Clear? So the more details of the process of oxidation and the next step will be discussed in the lecture tomorrow. Thank you so much.